Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Sonar's Minis. Today I'm going to be painting up a pumpkin mimic. And before you is the paints that I'm going to be using for this project, with the exception of one, which is Wolf Gray from Armypainter. This particular video was meant to come out on Halloween, and I almost had it ready, but it didn't quite work out. And that's quite okay. I would like to take a moment though and ask you to like this video and or subscribe to my channel to keep up to date on what I'm doing. Also, please remember, it's just paint. Any mistakes can be fixed, nothing is permanent. Alright, let's get ready to get going here. We're going to start off with a base prime of black, and then I'm going to do a dry brush of gray and white to get to this point where you see on the video currently. And then I'm going to go ahead and take Armypainter's Chaotic Red and paint the inside of the mouth of this mimic. You're not going to get a great look inside there, but there should at least be some color in case somebody happens to look. And black is just, it's okay, but red is better. There, I'm going to go ahead and use a Armypainter speed paint called Forest Sprite. It's kind of a medium yellowish green. I love the new labeling on the Armypainter speed paints sets. It actually says what color it is besides the name that they came up with. So you're going to see this, me mention this quite a bit when I use these, is that it's got a nice just regular color attached to it versus the fancy name. And here we go, we're starting off with the I'm slightly out of focus, in focus, out of focus problem I had last video, but it gets better, I promise. So we're going to just go around and apply this Forest Sprite to the vines on the bottom and the stem on top. The vines and the stem, I wanted to go ahead and clean up the eye. I probably should have waited to do this later because I ended up getting a few different colors on it and having to repaint it this matte white a couple times. But anyways, here we go. I'm working on the eye, and from there I decided I wanted to work on the base, and I wanted to show you the process. So I'm just taking a piece of cork for a step or ruined stonework, and went ahead and glued it on with super glue, and then proceeded to work on it from there. After the cork was glued down, I knew I needed to prime it, so I went ahead and just took black Vallejo airbrush primer, used a brush, put it all over this base. And once I got this done and it dried, I went ahead and glued the mimic down off camera. Alright, so after I've glued down the mimic and have primed the base, I'm going to go ahead and put the base color I want down for the stonework. I'm going to go with just a classic medium gray. I'll add different grays to this to kind of change up the coloration a little bit, but I'm just going to go around and apply this and put it on the cork. And once I'm past this point, I'll get back on. Alright, and now we're going to paint the pumpkin portion of the Mimic. For this, I'm going to use a new color from the Armypainter speed paint range called Nuclear Sunrise. And it's actually a vivid, what they call a vivid orange, a pretty bright orange. And I'm going to go around and I'll put this on the Mimic, initially off camera and out of focus, but soon hopefully it will get into focus and you can see what I'm doing. But I'm just doing what you would expect, just applying it to all the pumpkin skin areas. Okay, after the Nuclear Sunrise had dried, I'm going to go around and add Halloween Orange to all the raised areas on the pumpkin mimic that would be pumpkin itself. And I'm going to go around, and I know it's hard to see right at this moment, but it will come back in focus. I'm going to go around and just try to just put a layer on the raised areas. I will go ahead and mix the Nuclear Sunrise and the Halloween Orange together to get kind of a mid-tone to put in the more, not quite shaded, but not highlighted areas of this model. Right, here we are doing just a few more highlights on the pumpkin portion of the Mimic. And I'm going to turn around and give you a look at what it looks like currently. I have some cleanup on the eye, still have the teeth, and I'm going to do a little bit more highlighting around the mouth area. And I had, as you can see, worked a little bit on the establishing the flagstone regions on the floor, and I will do that with the cork section as well. It just hasn't been done yet on this video. This is me just trying to go back and hit some of these areas that just need just a little bit more brightening up, just to give some contrast between the deeper portions of the pumpkin and the higher portions. Alright, and so now we're going to start working on this Mimic's teeth. I wanted to give them more of a wood or fibrous look, so I'm going to base coat all the teeth with Armypainter's Banshee Brown. And then once that dries, I'm going to go ahead and top off all the teeth with Armypainter's Brain Matter Beige. As you can see, I've also been working on the base a little bit more off camera. My focus for this is just the pumpkin mimic, but I wanted to share that as well. I'm going to go ahead and highlight all the green areas, the vine and the stem, with a paint from Armypainter called Brew. It's It's kind of like a much lighter yellowish green than the Forest Sprite to give it a little bit more contrast. You can go ahead and hit various areas I feel that the light is hidden on the vines and on the stem. Off camera, I'd also added some candles and did the work on the candles, but now we're going to work on the Mimic's eye. And for this, I'm going to use GW's Waywatcher's Green glaze. I'm going to do this a couple of times. I'm going to put it on, let it dry. I don't want it super bright green, but I want it to be noticeably green, so I'm going to go ahead and do it that way. And from there, we have the finished product. So this one didn't take me very long. I'm kind of really liking the speed paints to help me lay down some of the base colors. Obviously, I have to go through and highlight it to, get a better look if you want something more than just very basic tabletop. But if you're just trying to do tabletop, Armypainter speed paints work great. And they are cheaper on average than GW's contrast paints. So here's a glamorous shot of the pumpkin. It's not the best one I've ever done, but I had a lot of fun painting it, and it didn't take me long to paint it. So once again, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like what you see, and we'll see you again sometime soon. Bye.